So there you have it. Andrew Tate finally bites the dust. Him and baby brother Tristan, little G, little T, Tristan, they're both going to prison. I'm pretty sure they're going to prison right now. They're in jail. But holy cow, what? 56, 57 counts of sexual violation, this and trafficking that. Oh my God. You know, for a few years, we've had to see these two douchebags strut around, waddling around with their penny loafers and their tight blazers, boasting and bragging about how they're smarter and they're the best looking and they're so rich. They got a lot of money and this and that. Now look at them. You know, Andrew has always said, men are supposed to suffer. You know, men are meant to be traumatized, and that's how you build character and all this stuff. You know, men are not supposed to be happy. And look at him now. In that prison cell or that jail cell, bitching and complaining. My stomach, the water's tainted. Auntie M. Nah, Andy, there's no place like home won't save you now. You can, click those heels together. You're not going back to Kansas, buddy. You're gonna remain in jail, dude. It's what it is, man. These guys are total hypocrites. I knew it. Bamboozled the whole world, especially young men. Bamboozled everybody. This man was on his knees. And yes, I'm referring to that boxing match. I'm going to always refer to that boxing match when talking about Andy Tate. Because that boxing match, it illustrates who the guy is. It perfectly represents his character. It reveals who he is. This man dropped to his knees. This man was on his knees, with his head between another man's legs. I knew it. I've been saying it. Way before it was cool to expose Andrew Tate, I was on the exposing train, the exposing wave, which really wasn't a big wave because he had everybody hypnotized. It was bizarre. I had never seen anything like it, man. This guy could just say anything and nobody would rebuttal it. Nobody would give it pushback. This guy could just say anything, convince, and nobody would say. This guy can go out in the middle of Times Square or London somewhere and suck 50 dudes dry and convince the world he is not gay. Listen, guys, I am not gay. And everybody's like, see, Andrew, he's not gay. He is not gay. Like I said, I've never seen anything like it. This guy's influence should be studied. You know, some people, they just have that gift. They have that power. Unfortunately, Andy has used his gift, his power, for very destructive ways. He got too big-headed. This guy was snitching on himself left and right, boasting and bragging. He thought he was untouchable. Kept on baiting the Matrix. Oh, come and get me, Matrix. You can't touch me. Now look. This guy's always talking about might equals right. You know, that's interesting. He's always saying now, it's unfair what they're doing to him. Well, let's just say hypothetically speaking, it is unfair. I used to look at it like, who cares? Because based on his own words, his philosophy, life isn't fair. Might equals right. There is no right or wrong. There is no good or evil. Just winning or losing. So they're treating you unfair, Andy? So what? Suck it up. Who cares? You lose. There is no right or wrong. There is only winning and losing. And right now, it looks like you're losing, buddy. Dude, it looks like you're losing. Bad. This man was on his knees, with this head between another man's legs. I'm going to keep on saying. Just like this guy he just keeps on talking. For years, he just kept on talking over and over. Wouldn't shut up. Sometimes repeating the same crap over and over and over again. So I'm going to say the same stuff over. I'm going to repeat the same stuff over. This guy was on his knees. This guy is a clown, dude. Absolute joke. You see all these guys talking about the masculinity this and, real man that. They can't even live up to their own standards. Because he's talking about a man should go out on his shield. Did he go out on his shield? No, he didn't. See, I can see if Andy was in there and he was swinging for the fences, fighting for his life. He was like, and then he got knocked out. He got clipped, maybe in the first or even the second round. They'd be like, all right, he went out on his shield, bro. He was hugging the whole time. He didn't just drop to his knees once. I think he did it like 3 times, bro. The first time, he's like, we give you a pass. All right, you slipped. But he did it twice. 3 times, bro. You fell on another man's meat 3 times, bro? Come on. Nah, we gave you a pass the first time, bro. No, after a while, man, you just want to be down there. When did you think about it? When have we ever seen in the history of boxing A fighter on his knees holding his opponent's legs. That's the ultimate form of submission. Bowing to your enemy. Wrapped his arms around Chase's leg. Dude, he had the whole world bamboozled. And all this stuff was, oh, well, you know, he's not a misogynist. You are a misogynist. And, yeah, man. And even if you want to say he's not a misogynist, because technically, you know, the proper definition of a misogynist is someone who hates women. The thing is, I don't think Andy hates women. I just think he looks down on women. He sees them as the ultimate, like, subservient beings of the human species, you know? Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you're misogynist or you hate women, but he sees them as objects. He's most definitely a sexist. He believes he's supremely, just majorly superior than women. He just looks at them as objects. So when he says, oh, I love women, yeah, he may love women. I believe that. But he loves women like he loves his cars, you know, his fancy items. He loves women like he loves his dog. You know, do as I say. I'll protect you. You know, you're my property. He has said that. He has referred to women as property. He has said all of this stuff. So, yeah, he's a douchebag. He's a creep. And to go online and just say you're doing all this stuff. And what's crazy about him and his idiot brother, they're admitting this stuff. Like, I saw a video of Tristan saying, oh, yeah, I'm a liar. Well, dude, you're on camera boasting about being a liar. Now you're in court trying to say, well, this isn't right. It's not fair. These guys are scammers. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. Both of you are idiots. And apparently their dad was diagnosed as a legitimate narcissist or some sociopath. Well, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. You know, it doesn't. And I can understand why their sister wants nothing to do with them. I understand. That's all I got to say. You know, finally, you know, like I said, I remember when, you know, I don't have a big following, but I tried to do the right thing. And I saw through these guys immediately. It's like, oh my God, man, nobody was giving pushback. So I was trying to, you know, put up a little video here and there. Again, you know, I don't have the reach, you know, but I was like, man, somebody's got at least attempts. There are some few people out there. You got some bigger YouTube channels and out there that tried to give some pushback, and they did a great job. But when you have legions of brainwashed, hypnotized, man, zombies, no matter how right you are and no matter how big your platform is and you're exposing these guys, you know, the damage was already done, man. I mean, yeah, they're locked up, but they did a lot of damage in terms of, you know, influencing guys to think a certain way. And man, it slowed down. It's definitely slowed down, which I'm glad. You know what I think? I think the powers that be look at it is like, all right, since we can't really get these guys locked up just yet immediately, even though the evidence is there, but for the time being, we'll just keep on arresting them, accusing them of stuff, and that way they don't have time to sit in their little mansion dungeons and stuff, posting a bunch of, they're just pumping out video. These guys, they have the energy of the devil. You know, I always say, no matter how good you are, you can be fighting for just causes, but if you have to match the devil's energy, you have to have the heart of an angel, so to speak, but the energy of the devil. The energy never sleeps, you know, and if you're fighting for a just cause, you have to have the same energy of the devil. A good guy, a good person will always fall to the devil when he doesn't put in the same amount of effort as the devil. The devil never sleeps. The devil is tireless, and you see it. These guys just bam, 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 just constantly talking. They don't shut up. And they have people pumping out content for them, even while they're in jail. Because I know they don't have access to social media and stuff, but they're still, you know, still out there. The posts are still out there. So yeah, I'm just glad these guys are finally, they've slowed down. The whole Tate phenomenon and stuff, it has slowed down. About time. For real. And they're exactly where they belong. In jail.